Okay, so here's an example of a real life situation problem where we have to convert units of measure. Okay, suppose there's a kid that has to run 4 laps around a playground, a rectangular shaped playground, and the area of the playground, because as you know, the area of something is length times width. In this case, is 100 yards times 450 feet, right? Now, the question is, what is the distance? And if you notice, I put, what is the distance, the total distance? I should put total there. What is the total distance of the run in both feet and yards? Now, the reason why I put both units there is because I want to be able to convert it both ways. Now, you'll notice that we have 100 yards and we have 450 feet, right? The problem with that is those are 2 different units, okay? So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to convert. Now, the best way to convert this is to take the larger unit, yards, and multiply that by how many of the smaller unit fits into it. So in this case, as you know, 3 feet are equal to 1 yard. Okay, 3 feet are equal to 1 yard, which means that I'm going to have to multiply, or I should say, I'm going to have to, yeah, that's the way I would do it. I would have to multiply the number of yards in the part that says yards by 3 to figure out how many feet that would be, right? So I picked a relatively easy number. I picked 100. I'm going to multiply that number by 3, and I'm going to get 300, right? So technically, 100 yards, or not technically, but it is, 100 yards is the same as 300 feet. So now what's good about this is that both sides have the same unit, feet and feet. 300 feet by 450 feet, okay? Now, that is the area of this rectangle. But keep in mind, he's running around the rectangle. He's not running inside. Remember, the area is what's inside the rectangle. What's outside the rectangle is the perimeter. And by perimeter, I mean all 4 sides. All 4 sides have to be counted for. Okay? So we're not going to multiply this to get the area. That's not what we want. What we want is the perimeter. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take that 300 feet, add it to the 450 feet, and I'm going to get 750, right? But that is not the perimeter. That is half the perimeter. Why is that? Because that's only accounting for these 2 sides. You got to do all 4 sides, okay? You have a fence around the whole playground. You're not just doing half a playground, right? So you have to account for this side as well, which means I have to double that. Because remember, if this is 450 and 300 feet, this has to be 450 and 300 feet because it's a perfect rectangle, right? Which means I'm going to have to double the 750 to account for the other 2 sides. So if I double the 750, I could either add it, or I'm going to multiply it by 2 in this case. You could also use calculator, whatever you're more comfortable with. And you will get 1,500 total feet as the perimeter. 1,500 feet or 1,500 feet is your total perimeter of this playground. Am I done though? No, I'm not. Why? Because how many laps did he have to run? He had to run 4 laps, right? So I've got 1,500 feet and I've got 4 laps. Okay? You can see that better. 1,500 feet, 4 laps. Laps and feet are 2 totally different things. And I'm looking for a total, which means I'm going to have to multiply these 2, right? So I'm going to multiply 1,500 feet times 4, and you can do it on a calculator if you have the option, or you just want to work it out if you have room on the paper. But you wind up getting 6,000 feet is what it winds up being when you multiply it. So the total distance in feet that this kid ran is 6,000. Okay? Pretty nice round number there. Now let's say I want to take the 6,000 feet and convert it into yards. Well, how do I do that? Well, remember, 3 feet is 1 yard, right? So if I'm going from yards to feet, I have to multiply by 3. If I'm going back from feet to yards, I have to divide that number by 3. Okay? So I'm going to take that 6,000 feet and divide it by 3. Okay, and I could do it by calculator, long division, whatever you're more comfortable with. And I wind up getting 2,000 yards. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Because if there's 3 feet in a yard, 2,000 times 3 is 6,000. So once again, 6,000 feet and 2,000 yards. That's the same distance. It's just in different units. We took this rectangular shaped playground. We figured out what we were told what the area was. We converted it into the same unit because you can't add apples and oranges. They got to be the same unit. Once you do that, you figure out the other side. You double it because it is a perfect rectangle, right? And that's one way of doing it. If you're doing it in feet, that would be it if you have it in feet. If you're going to get it the yards, you divide it by 3, and that's how you get the number of yards, okay? And the good news about this video is you could pause it. You could rewind it. Well, not rewind it, but go back. Fast forward if you're getting bored. You know what you need to do. And hopefully this helps you. All right? I'll talk to you later. Bye.